Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update Show. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by tokenmetrics.com. If you need to make money in crypto and you need a roadmap, if you need to know where the high and the low is, then subscribe to this channel. If you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to turn on the alerts bell so you know when we're going live. Now, let's start off by welcoming everybody to the stream. We've got Megan from Boston, a regular, welcome. Taz first on the screen as usual. Flipped Burger, another regular. Driftless Crypto, Aiken. Okay, welcome. Welcome to the show. And thank you for tuning in, right? For being smart enough to tune in and get the information that we've been dropping over the last week or so. So we've got Luxembourg, okay? We've got Liverpool, our friends from England. We have Croatia, Houston, okay? The UK, Netherlands, Washington, D.C., Rio, Chicago. All right. We even have Venezuela here. Tokyo up late. We got our friends in Brussels. Okay. Mac 3 is coming to us from the moon. New York, New Jersey, and Jordan. Welcoming the Middle East along with Kentucky, Cincinnati, Tel Aviv, Singapore. All right. And of course, our friends from Indiana, Puerto Rico, Playa del Carmen, and Amsterdam. Cali 17 from Amsterdam. Okay. We have Nigeria in the house. Welcome, Golden. We have it coming from all over the place. And we better with the ETH up 10% today, for God's sakes. All right. Ernest coming in from Minnesota, right up there in the snow. We've got Morocco, Quebec. All right. Never forget the UK. My grandmother was from Manchester, believe it or not. If anybody out there is from Manchester, give us a shout out. Crypto Jesus from Germany, welcome. And LVD, we've got a lot of people from Switzerland and Europe. We appreciate our friends both in America, overseas, and wherever you're from. And Flipburger is reminding you, okay, don't forget to hit the like button, okay? Megan says we need a breakdown on how to make profit for this weekend. LFG. Yes. All right. So on that note, let's get to your market update. All right. We're switching up the acronym game. All right. Last week, before the rally, we said LFG, NFA. BTFD. We'll leave you to look that up as to what that meant. And so far this morning, we're being vindicated. Now, on one hand, I want to express gratitude to all the regulars who've been watching us both live and who have been watching us, the recorded videos. Now, if you're new and you haven't yet subscribed to our channel or you haven't tuned in live yet, my simple comment to you with a smile on my face is, what's the matter with you? What's the matter? Subscribe. Come listen with us. Get on the ETH train. Get on the altcoin train, right? LFG. Let's talk about commodities. Now, as you know, we've been talking about the commodity market parabolic. Oil, soybeans. You keep saying it over and over and over. Now, did you know that in America, the CFTC considers Bitcoin a commodity? The Bitcoin futures contract is not regulated by the SEC. It's regulated by the CFTC. It's considered a commodity, a digital commodity. So this chart is the CRB index. And as you know, oil, beans, everything you can think of, all physical goods have done nothing but go up. Well, today, folks, that has spilled into crypto. It's been also spilling into NFTs, which are like digital metaverse commodities or commodities of some new digital social future. So you need oil to build something in a factory. You need gasoline to drive a car. And you need NFTs and the metaverse and ETH to build a new society, to build a digital world. All right. So today, February 4th, I woke up to an employment number that made me want to just pull the covers over my head because interest rates went up because the employment number was good. And I was like, oh no, crypto could go down. But crypto didn't go down. So as I've said all week, and I think we said it yesterday with Mike, if something is supposed to go down and it doesn't, what's it going to do? Well, it's going to go up, right? It's going to go up, and it's going to go up a lot. So one of the reasons why I was saying you got to have at least some position, you got to be involved, is because of shit like today, right? You just woke up and it was gone. Right now, it's not gone. It's just starting in my mind, particularly for Ethereum, right? We talked about this in depth in yesterday's video. And of course, I will be pounding the table and the gong on it today. Okay, so let's begin with Ethereum. Ethereum has come to the bottom, just below the bottom of a linear regression band. So that's just kind of a channel that's built with statistical math. As you can see, over the last month, Ethereum has spent time below this channel, right? Scaring everybody, making everybody afraid, along with the Fed and Vladimir Putin and everything else. So everybody has had to live with booga booga. I'm scared. I'm afraid. ETH's going to go to 1900. Oh my God. That's what we've been living with and losing sleep over. I've lost sleep for days. Couple weeks, actually. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, ETH takes off and comes back inside this channel, right? Right around 2,800 was the level, and ETH is, doing a robust rally today. Now let's take another look at it. ETH was inside of an expanding cone. This is a really weird looking formation. So not only was there that linear regression band that sloped up, but there was also kind of a diagonal consolidation formation. And of course, ETH broke out of the bottom of that, scared everybody, and actually came back in and did a little bump and run yesterday, right? Yesterday's recovery was kind of nice, made me happy. Now, all of a sudden, ETH's coming back up. Now, why is this diagonal formation relevant? Well, when you have these diagonals and you break out at the bottom and it's a false breakdown, right? In other words, bears take control and then they lose control. Now, in theory, what happens? Normally, with a diagonal, when you have a false breakdown, you wind up getting a move that takes out the top of the formation. So when bears can't hold it down at the bottom, the bulls can normally take it up through the top. Now that's 4660 in ETH. I was talking about this yesterday. And of course, again, I'm super grateful that you guys were here to see it. But who's talking about ETH 5K? Nobody. Who was talking about ETH 5K last year? Everybody. That's why it didn't happen, right? That's why it didn't happen. If everyone thinks the same thing, something else happens. Everybody is like, oh, I can't wait to buy crypto capitulation because it's going to go to zero and I'll be able to genuflect and buy everything. But it's never that tidy, right? It's not that tidy, right? Markets do crazy things, right? Who would have thought that you're supposed to get long before the employment number, then it would come out and it would be kind of bad, but then the market would go up 10%. That's why the market's up 10%, because everyone was like, well, gee, we had no idea. Well, hopefully I provided you with some idea. The point is, this idea of ETH benefiting from possibly a weaker dollar, this idea of benefiting that ETH, does well in a commodity bull market, that ETH is a commodity, the commodity and currency of culture. Everybody has forgotten about the Ethereum narrative. So Ethereum's up 10%, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't know that you want to buy it up right this second, but you definitely want to make sure you got something on, because, if it's at 5,000 in a month, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't buy it below 3. So you have to you have to be intelligent. It's easy to buy on green days. But the point is, we've been talking about a bottom, and we've been talking, right, about ETH and crypto in general being able to go much higher than anybody thinks during the month of February. So if you're confused and you're like, well, what do I do now? I get that, right? I get that. I'm going to reiterate what I've been saying. You got to have a core long position, not investment advice. You got to have something on, right? Now, you're going to want to use a stop, and you're also going to want to try to buy a dip around the inflation number. Because if that inflation number is bad and it doesn't make crypto go down, you could have a repeat of today. Or if it's bad and it makes crypto go down, it's probably BTFD, not investment advice. To conclude, how does ETH get to 5K? Because nobody believes it can go up. No one believes it. I'm afraid to buy it. I'm afraid to buy it. Oh, I wanted it at 2,000. 2,800 is too expensive. I can't buy it when it's up, right? I'm worried about inflation. I'm worried about the Russians. I'm worried. All right. Markets climb the wall of worry. So if everybody goes, I'm worried, by the time there's no worried, ETH is at 5,000, and viewers of the Token Metrics live stream will probably be selling at that point. So if there's something to be worried about, Ethereum can continue to go up. And Bitcoin can join in, although I think Bitcoin is going to have a pause around the inflation number. But, this ETH could be a freight train, right? So could other layer ones, but ETH in particular, like everyone's blown it off. So I don't want to overstate the point, but we've been saying this for a while. We've been saying it since the Fed meeting, where we were like, licensed to speculate. And here we are, right? Okay, let's look at Ethereum from the point of view of the equity market. Now, that's ETHE. That's the Ethereum Trust. So basically, you buy a stock, and the entity is holding physical Ethereum. It's not an ETF. It's a trust. So back in May, Ethereum went above the linear regression band and went down 63%. And then it kind of went through this bottoming process. Okay. In this case, Ethereum was above the linear regression band again and collapsed and went down 63%. Okay. If Ethereum can get above 2,300, ETHE will probably get back inside the linear regression band, right? And that will allow equity investors to get enthusiastic, because equity investors never met a breakout that they didn't like. So Ethereum above like 2,320 probably brings people in from the stock market. right? Everybody has totally forgotten about the fact that equity market investors are probably going to want to have 1 to 2% of their portfolios allocated to crypto. Like, does anybody remember all that yip yap about the Bitcoin ETF? It's like everyone was talking about it. Now no one's talking about it. And now when I look at Ethereum, I'm like, well, what happens if the equity market goes, wow, man, we're sick of all this crazy equity market stuff. And there's all this bullshit going on with interest rates. And, you've been listening to these videos about how complicated all that is. Well, how about something that's not complicated? Ethereum, right? Okay, yesterday on the stream, me and Mike, our hidden gems guy, were talking about coins that had a positive correlation to Ethereum. Where did we get this information? From tokenmetrics.com, the best research site in the business, right? So we have FTX token, Cardano, Elrond. So if ETH smokes to the upside, some of these other tokens might go with them. Some of these other layer ones. Continuing the absurd amount of pounding the table. Remember the death cross in Ethereum? Remember me telling you that I hated the death cross and the golden cross? Why? Because everyone's looking at the same thing. And if everybody's looking at the same thing, it's wrong. In this case, everybody was looking at the same bearish thing. One of the things that I talked about in my experience with this is that, even if it is bearish, right, normally the market will rally back to where the moving average is crossed before the next move or before any potential, up or down move unfolds. So these two moving averages are at like 3,500, 3,600. So, ETH at 2,800 really, that doesn't seem so pricey to me if these moving averages are that far above the market. So even if it's a down market in ETH, even if there is no new high, even if that's all just, crypto smoke, right? Smoking the happy stuff, drinking the Kool-Aid, there's still a lot of room to go up, even if this is a down market in ETH. Now let's look at Total 2 on TradingView. Total 2 is crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin. So ETH is going to be a huge driver of Total 2, along with big layer ones and big metaverse coins. So that's going to be ETH, Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, Polkadot, Sandbox, Decentraland, Near, all the big stuff, right? Now, if I'm looking at this chart, this is an 8-hour chart, right? Total 2 just came back above 1 trillion. And I don't see any resistance until, 1.7 trillion. That chart's mismarked. It's not 1.7 billion. It's 1.7 trillion. So all I'm saying is don't doubt how much ETH could go up, because ETH could single-handedly move this metric. So again, what's the theme, right? What's the research theme? Well, we've been talking about a bottom. We've been talking about Ethereum in February, or crypto in general, going up much more than people would expect, right? Now, we didn't get the Bitcoin dip, or we don't know if we're going to get the Bitcoin dip around the inflation number, but this market has clearly demonstrated how much it's willing to surprise people on the upside. Let's take a look at quantitative metrics, something that we're going to be seeing more of in the market update outside of just TradingView charts. This is the Ethereum put-call ratio. Well, what's that? Well, it's a ratio of, bearish bets are at the top, right? And bullish bets are at the bottom in the denominator. So the more bullish people are, okay, the lower the number is, and the higher the number, the more negative people are. Now, sometimes this can be used as a contrarian signal, okay? So I don't want to confuse you, but here's the point. I looked at this chart and I said this. Let me get this straight. ETH is down 63% from its highs. And this number being low shows that people would prefer upside bets to downside bets in Ethereum by a long shot. By a long shot. I expected this to be like, oh, everyone's bearish. Wait, everyone's not bearish. Now, why would that be? Well, how about the stuff we talked about yesterday, right? Ethereum's burn rate is unbelievable, right? It's like we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars at a time in ETH is being burned. And this makes sense, right? The more people get involved in NFTs, the more excited people get, the more they burn ETH. So, I don't want to be a complete moon boy on a green up day, but there's a lot of mathematics behind what's going on, and nobody is talking about Ethereum. I'm serious. Nobody. Let's look at ETH options by strike. And you're like, whoa, okay, don't worry. So this graph shows in the options market what levels people are making bets in ETH, right? So red lines are bearish bets and blue lines are kind of like volume in bullish bets. Now, it's not that quite cut and dry, but you can see there is a lot of people making bets at 3,000. So a lot of times in the options market, right, prices can gravitate to where the biggest open interest lies. So it kind of makes sense that ETH would be a magnet and move towards 3,000. Now, once it gets there, it might hang out there. All right, that makes sense, right? So that could mean once ETH gets to 3,000, the trade could move from ETH into Solana and Avalanche, particularly into Near. So this helps you navigate, right? Now, the next level where you would see major options volume or open interest or, bets is 4,000. So if ETH gets above 3, there's not a whole lot from preventing it from going to 4. Now, it's not going to be easy to get through 3, okay? But the market is full of surprises, right? If you've learned anything from what's happening today, right? And if you're new to these videos, again, what's the matter with you? Tune in with us because we can give you not only directional advice or directional guidance, not investment advice, right? But we can help you figure out what to do and when to do it. Now, total 2, we talked about this. Let's look at total 3. Total 3 is altcoin market cap. So without Bitcoin and without Ethereum, and as you can see, this is not doing as well. That said, if ETH gets to 3,000, this might catch up. So Solana at 100 something seems a little cheap to me. AVAX, nobody wanted it yesterday. I think it was below 70. Are you kidding me? That's half off from the high. My understanding is Near NFT volume is exploding, right? And now I don't know if the volume is exploding because I don't have the numbers, but from what I'm hearing it is. But I'm also hearing that, people are making money on that network in NFTs. I have said all year long that this NFT narrative, even though I can't chart it, art and stocks are not correlated. So if stocks go down, if risk assets go down, NFTs could moon into May. They could moon all year. This is going to drive volume to layer 1 platforms. So if you don't have the money to pay 8 or 10 ETH for something, the layer 1 protocols are still cheap AF. So if you want to get in on that narrative, right? LFG. Let's look at Near. 8-hour chart. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. Not going to lie, okay? We think this is going a lot higher. So not investment advice, but, Near is going to go to 15. And then as soon as it's done going to 15, it's going to go to 21, in my opinion. Again, it's not investment advice. Now, if you look at this chart, it seems like, it's a no-brainer. All right. Now, EK is saying, can you explain why you're bullish on Near, even though the Token Metrics AI price prediction doesn't show it's bullish? Okay, good point. So Token Metrics indices and Token Metrics rankings, they follow market momentum. So as momentum builds, Token Metrics AI indicator will start to turn bullish. Like yesterday, I noted that our ratings page had like 20 to 25 coins that had ratings above 80. So the AI picks up frequently on momentum, or in the case of Kyber, it actually picked it up before it moved. Okay. But as momentum builds, our AI is going to start ticking higher. Now, as with human analytics, AI can pick up a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff from portfolios, but there's a reason I'm here. All right. I'm not here to just make noise. I'm here to help add value to what our AI does. That's why subscribing to this channel and having a tokenmetrics.com subscription can be sort of a holistic way to approach crypto. Let's look at perp. Yes, I just said it on the air. Perp. Okay, beaten to an absolute pulp. All right, beaten down. All right, and what's perp doing? It's kind of making a base. Right? Very interesting. This is a decentralized derivatives exchange. Now, sometimes when perp goes up, it can really go up. And when perp really goes down, it really goes down. So if we are about to embark on a speculative phase, if the license to speculate is in effect between now and this time in March, mid-March, or maybe May, I'm thinking March. If the market can give you 3 to 5 months worth of gains in 3 to 5 weeks, perp is an interesting altcoin. Now, if you're wrong in perp, you will get smoked. If you're wrong in perp and perp goes down, it'll probably go to 5. But if you're right in perp, perp could go to 10. Okay. And not investment advice. I know some really smart people who think there's like dramatic upside. As a matter of fact, the same person who got me into perp was also one of the first people to start talking about Near. So let's give that person some respect, and let's consider this as just an example of an altcoin, because I can't chart every altcoin all in one market update. The idea is this: find something that has a good story that's beat up. And if it's started to rally and it's not up 40%, then perhaps now would be a good time to consider it. In other words, you're looking at the screen, you're watching this video today or 3 days from now, and you're like, damn it, I missed it. And I would say to you, what's the matter with you? No, it just started. Now, I know you have to manage risk. Don't FOMO into a meme coin, right? But quality is still on sale. So don't doubt yourself. Don't talk yourself out of a trade. If I'm willing to step out on a limb on perp, then, I want to inspire you to take the right risk. Because as I've said repeatedly, if you're going to make money at the retail level being long crypto, now's the time to do it. Not investment advice. Solana. Okay. Everyone wanted Solana at 220. Nobody wanted it at 80. You're like, Bill, you say that a lot. I'm like, yeah, I do. Because I need to provide some comedy around the emotional aspect of trading crypto, right? It's easy to be bullish at 220, but with Solana at 80 or 90 or 100, no one's watching my videos. I'm okay with that. I'm used to that. I've been an analyst for a long time. And I know that when you're at a major bottom or a major top, no one listens. That's okay. You're listening. Good for you. Seriously. Good for you. Right? In other words, your mind is open enough to be able to say, all right, The whole world's selling, but maybe this could go up. And if you're new, well, welcome. Subscribe to the channel, right? Because even though no one's listening now, you can sure as shit bet people are going to be listening if ETH is at 4,000, right? So again, Solana just got back above 100, for God's sakes. That was the 62% retracement of the whole rally up. So if Solana is like an NFT play, Solana hasn't done shit. Solana hasn't done anything. Solana was at 100, I don't know, around the 20th. I don't know how to respond. Right? You're right. Siri doesn't know how to respond to that. Because they're like, well, why is everybody like all negative? Why is everyone, selling Solana or down on Solana? Solana could go to 129 before the next correction. AVAX. Holy Christ. Look at this chart. This is an 8-hour linear regression band. Everyone's acting like AVAX is probably going to wind up going to 50. Now, based on the way this looks, it does look like a bear flag. I talked about that yesterday. Like, wow, man, I'm losing sleep. So if you missed this, I believe me, this was hard. The market's up today because everybody missed it. But let's just look at the numbers. Let's do some analysis, right? Let's think about it. AVAX at 76. They've unwound half the give up trade, right? Now, realistically, AVAX could be in like an accumulation cone. Sometimes I draw accumulation cones. I don't have it with this chart right this second. All right. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do something on the fly. Nope, I don't have it. All right, back to Avalanche. Why can't Avalanche go back to 100? Why not? Right? I mean, these layer 1 protocols, everyone wanted to own them, and now no one's talking about it. Polkadot, I've been basically pounding the table, inquiring, why is everyone giving up on Polkadot? Why is everybody giving up on interoperability? That's crazy, right? If there's a problem with technology with Web 2, as you can see by Facebook's earnings yesterday, right? If there's a transitionary period going on in the world of technology, doesn't it stand to reason that layer 1s and layer 0s like Polkadot might actually do well? Why the hell is everyone selling? Why the hell is everyone bearish? Right? Mr. Mark is waking everybody up today. Polkadot could go back to 23. Polkadot was at 23 in the middle of January, for God's sakes. Now it's at 19, and everyone's like, ooh, I can't buy it. Why not? Why not? Why is everybody bearish? Why has everybody been bearish? Well, I do know why. Because everyone's afraid of the Fed. Everyone's afraid of Vladimir Putin. Everyone's afraid of stocks. Afraid. What happens when everyone's afraid? It goes up. That's why the title of the stream is, what's the matter with you? Why are you afraid? Right? This is the voice that's trying to help you not be afraid so you can make money in crypto. All right? Phantom. You have to confess, myself, I was kind of like starting to give up on this. Like Phantom, it bored me into disinterest. But then I pulled up the 8-hour chart. I'm like, wow, this thing is down at $2. It's kind of like been pushed out of a car. No one cares, right? Little did you know, I don't know. Phantom doesn't really have much resistance until you're talking like 265. And I don't see any reason why Phantom, if this whole thing takes off, if total value lock doesn't start returning to that protocol. Now, that remains to be seen. But again, everybody is not talking about Phantom. Who's talking? Everybody, a month ago, everybody was talking about Phantom. Now nobody is. All right. That, folks, is your heavy bloviation market update. All right. How's my connection? Can everybody hear me out there? Am I good? All right. I think we're good. All right. Seeing a lot of comments flying by. So let's go back to the start and see what we can do to help people out here. All right. Okay, so somebody's checking in from India. Okay, so Nochi said, read this, take profits, build a stablecoin portfolio, and borrow against it. Okay. You know, that is not an unreasonable thing to say. Now, if you're listening to a good analyst, okay, so I have a view. All right. What's the risk to the view? The risk to the view is everyone's going to get bullish during the bear market, and that every time you get a rally, you should sell. That's what the bears think. So we're going to find out if they're right around the inflation number. Okay. So Nochi is doing something that makes our stream better. Okay. It's better if you have a diversity of views. It's better if you have risk management. All right. That's why I'm saying you want to have, a core position, and then you can add to it and trade around it. Now, Nochi wants to sell and go to cash. Okay. Personally, I think the time to sell and go to cash is probably in March, right? And the bears may be underestimating what can happen now. But acknowledging someone else's point of view is healthy. All right. So let's see what else we got. Crypto Technology just ordered his Token Metrics sweatshirt. Yes, we do have merch, right? I'm actually getting a Token Metrics hoodie. So everybody who hates my New York Rangers shirt will be happy because I'll be wearing Token Metrics apparel sometime in the future. Okay, Nochi is saying, if I send you a Leafs jersey, will you rock it on air? You know what, Nochi? Because I love you and all my viewers, I will rock the Leafs jersey, particularly for all my friends in Canada, right? All right. Let's see. We have Nevada in the house. Nochi says $3,000 is the edge of sanity in ETH. All right. Lava says he forgot about ETH. Well, don't worry about it. All right. Nikki wants to know where that she can get near. I believe it's on crypto.com. Okay. This, I like this. Routine Cheese says, I sold my IMX pump, okay, to buy near, and he's loving it. All right. XRP keeps showing up on Token Metrics pie charts. That's correct. All right. Our portfolios continue to flag XRP, which I think is fascinating. Right. XRP is a regulatory play. That's what I've said. That's how I kind of beg off charting it. But if our AI is picking up something in the price action and it continues like day after day, that's why tokenmetrics.com is a cool place to be, because you say, okay, when something shows up day after day after day after day, sometimes it can go up a lot. I saw that with Solana last year. I'm not saying XRP is the next Solana, but, the XRP army is probably getting old waiting for something to happen. All right. Who knows? Do you think Axie Infinity will go back up to $100? All right. Let's take a look and see what we got on Axie Infinity. Just doing a little on-the-fly TA here. Okay. Okay, so here's what I can tell you about Axie Infinity. Let me share the screen. Just taking note of what everyone's looking at here. All right, let's get the screen up. Let's get the chart up. All right, so this Axie Infinity story is interesting. So I know that this was like the first NFT play, right? And I know up here, there was massive FOMO at 160. And down here at 50, it's dead. It's dead. Nothing's happening. So if I had to look at this chart and I said, all right, let's take this off. Let's just say it's not, I don't know what it is. Just read this chart. I'd be like, well, everybody was doing massive FOMO up here, right? And now everyone is giving up down here. All right. So whatever this is, it's down 70% for its high, and it's gone back to its low from September and support from its previous like high uptick in July of last year. So there's a lot of support here. So if you believed in whatever this is fundamentally, from a technical point of view, down 70%, I mean, down 70% either means it's dead and you should move on, or this is a candidate to wake up. In other words, remember the market of cryptos? It's not the crypto market, it's the market of cryptos. The whole thing doesn't go up or down at once. Be pretty cool if you could look through the list today and find something that's only up 2 or 3% that has a good story. Because I think if the market continues to rally, it's going to do so in sectors, in pieces. Like first it was metaverse, right? And then metaverse came off. It was like Sandbox and Decentraland. Then, you know, some other speculative NFT and metaverse coins did okay. And then ETH woke up. So this potential up move, even if it is like a bear market rally, even if it's a rally during a broader downtrend, unfolds gradually. So Axie Infinity is not just an example, okay, for all of, you know, for Axie Infinity, but it's also an example of how to look at coins that are still down. Okay. So let's see what else we got here. Okay. Megan says fear levels haven't recovered since November. Okay. All right. So somebody's asking for FTX and Crow. Okay. They're going to be on Super Bowl ads. Okay. Excellent point. All right. Didn't think about that. Going to be seeing Super Bowl commercials on crypto. All right. That would actually fit with a theme we've seen throughout recent 2 years, where crypto frequently does well on US holidays. So the Super Bowl is not exactly a holiday, all right? But we have seen big rallies when everyone else is doing something else, like Christmas or Easter. Now, actually, it's declines, right? The market always likes to broadside everybody, all right, when no one's looking. It's unfortunately a byproduct of the 24/7 crypto culture. Okay, so this recovery above 43 in FTT looks pretty good to me. So big picture, Token Metrics indices like FTT, and I can definitely see it going to 56. Okay, I mean, you know, I'm not perfect, people. If I liked FTX in this range when it tried to break out the first time, then I really got to like it if it's breaking out here when everybody seems to be afraid. Now, let's look at the 8-hour chart, because I've noticed that, you know, timing, whoops. Okay, from a timing point of view, this 8-hour chart can be really useful. All right, so let's focus in here. All right, so I can see FTX maybe going sideways, okay, for a little while before it breaks out, right? Because there's resistance up here at 45. So, you know, FTX could not get through 45 the last time. That's over here. Now, if FTX does get through 45, it's on for 56 or higher. So, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag. You know, if you want to bet on the Super Bowl commercial, I don't have a problem with that. If the Token Metrics AI indices like it, then I say like it, not investment advice. Okay. So it's right at kind of like a critical technical inflection point. All right, let's take a look at Crow, crypto.com. Okay, so Crow's up 5% today. And let's take a look at what this looks like on the 8-hour chart. Now, if you ask me, this is interesting, right? So this is Crow on an 8-hour chart. Right? It looks like support is at around 40 cents. If you go by this chart, risk reward is better here than say in other coins because the upside is at 57 cents, right? Now, just take a look at what's happening here. There's a subtle shift in the chart. So this line was important here because there was a failure. Matter of fact, it failed here multiple times. This line actually gave you a breakout. That was back in December. Okay. Now look at what's happening here. Okay. Do my eyes deceive me, or do I see kind of an expanding triangle? All right. Now, crypto.com has not broken out yet, but if it does, then 57 cents is possible. So if you're looking for something that's off its lows, but hasn't totally mooned yet, crypto.com is a possibility, right? Do you have to FOMO in at the highs? No. But the dip buying mentality is important. Also, finding things that are of high quality that haven't moved yet is also important. Token Metrics' website, as the market improves, the Token Metrics website will start identifying what coins, right, may have the best chance at doing better, right? I use it, right? I try to work off charts and requests like this, but there's other ways of identifying what could be next. Because again, bears want to move to cash, right? I'm sure I know who they are. I know there's people out there who are cynical on crypto, right? And, buying crypto up 10 or 15% may not be smart because selling crypto down 15% wasn't smart, okay? But that doesn't mean that you can't buy a dip, and also doesn't mean that if there's stuff out there like this that's underappreciated, that, it has a legit shot of moving higher, okay? Let's take a look at IMX. Okay, that was kind of yesterday's story, right? See if I can get a better history. Okay. So again, here's what I've been talking about. Here's Immutable X on this 8-hour chart, which has been, very helpful, right? And, I'm not exactly sure what I said yesterday, but I may have noted this, right? That Immutable X was right at the top of its 8-hour regression band. Okay. And now Immutable X has come off. And where has it come off to? Oh, wait a minute. Look at this. It comes to the 62% retracement of the up move. Anybody who is a big fan of the stream, all right, knows that if buyers show up on a dip at the 62% level and it holds, it can usually pretend more upside. So, I don't know, maybe the 40% run up in Immutable X, maybe it's over, but I'd be interested to see if people are willing to come in and buy a dip. What do I always say? It's not a bull market unless you can buy a dip and make money, right? So here comes the big test in Immutable X. Now, somebody was also asking about Trader Joe. I have been looking at this chart, and I don't know if it's like off to the races and it's gone. Let's see what Joe looks like. Okay, so Joe's up 10% today. Okay. Joe was higher. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Okay. So there's a couple ways to look at the Joe token, right? If you get yield farming rewards and people have to pay taxes in America, then you may see selling pressure in Trader Joe. That comes from one of our fundamental analysts. Okay. That said, looking at technical analysis, this looks like a head and shoulders bottom, right? So theoretically, Joe could go to $2.24. Now, if everyone is selling this to pay their taxes, it won't get there. But if we go strictly on charts, something over $2 is very possible. All right. I know we have people pumped up IOTX. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let's get to that 8-hour chart. Okay, so yesterday we talked about this. We talked about the fact that, honestly, we don't know what this upward sloping band means, right? In other words, every crypto out there is making this upward sloping channel. And is that bullish or bearish? Okay, well, in some coins like Avalanche, it looks more bullish. In this one, it looks less so. Now, that said, this thing's been up a couple days in a row, right? And it looks like at the moment, it rushes up and then it comes back down. So this is a good time to make a point. Let's go to an 89-minute chart, right? So when you're in a bull market, right? So this is IOTX on an 89-minute basis. Now, if you're watching this video 2 days from now, this won't be relevant, but it is relevant in terms of like figuring out, hey, how do I want to approach this market? Okay. Well, if you look at, here was a dip, right? That's like a 3-hour dip. Here's a 2-hour dip, 3-hour dip, right? Everybody's selling IOTX and then it goes back up, right? And now, even though it's higher, people are selling again. People just can't sell it fast enough. But the fact of the matter is, it's holding, right? Like, if there are buyers at 0.076, this thing may have proved itself as a value play, because every time they try to hit it, it comes back. I mean, how many times are they going to try to kill this thing? They've tried to kill it multiple times. So again, if you see buyers willing to pay higher prices, right? We talked about this. So this is recorded in San Antonio, Texas time, right? And then people all over the world watch it. And of course, we appreciate all of you, regardless of where you are. But obviously, a lot of trading goes on when I'm not on the air. So when you watch the market, you got to say to yourself, are people willing to pay higher prices for my coin? Are people willing to buy the dip in my coin? And if they miss the dip, are they willing to pay higher prices? So let's say that again. Are bulls showing up on the dip, or are bears showing up on the rally? If bulls are showing up on the dip and then people are willing to pay higher prices, that means the bears may be out of ammo, right? In other words, somebody wants to sell rallies. Okay, I'm sure a lot of people need to sell rallies. People got caught. Of course, some people need to sell rallies. I mean, who the hell wants to buy something and watch it go down 30% in their face in 2 days? So the question is, for your coin and for this market, right? Like, we got the inflation number coming up. If everyone wakes up tomorrow and goes, gee, maybe we got a little bit too enthusiastic, the Fed's going to go on the war path. There could be a dip, right? So if there's a dip, then you'd be like, all right, do the bulls show up? Do the bulls show up? All right, so I think we covered all our requests. I'm going to go back. I'm just going to see what ETH looks like while we're talking, since we got the 89-minute chart up. Jesus, near up 14%. I don't even think I pulled up the near chart. Man, I'm not playing around in this. God. Let's do this. And the sick thing about this is, like I said, if you look at this on an 8-hour chart, I mean, look at this, man. I mean, this, you're like, oh, gee, it's up 15%. I missed it. Now, you don't buy Ethereum or Bitcoin up 15% necessarily. But when you have a fundamental story like this, and you've got the bigger the base, the higher in the space. In other words, when you see this anywhere in crypto, right? You see down, and then you make the base, and then when it gets ready, it just goes right back where it came from. So not investment advice, but it's not like Token Metrics. This includes me, Michael, okay, Mehdi for sure, okay, as well as our NFT analyst staff. And then you're saying, wait, Bill, did you say NFT analyst staff? I said, oh yeah. TokenMetrics.com subscribers are now getting an NFT newsletters written by a bunch of guys who found Azuki Zen when it was trading for 3 ETH. So do stay tuned, and those guys will be hitting TV soon. So subscribe to the channel. Again, what's the matter with you? Not you, you're watching the stream, but hey, if you're not involved, get involved with us, right? Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. What do you think about ICX as an interoperability play? Well, I think it's possible, right? But I leave interoperability and things like that to my guy, Mehdi. Okay? Wrong again says, sorry, I'm late. Don't worry. You're right on time. I like to tell people this. They like to say, oh, I just got the crypto. Everybody last year was like, oh my God, I'm late. I missed it. I'm too late. I missed it. I'm like, no, you're not. You didn't miss it. You're not too early. You're not too late. You're right on time. You're right on time. Welcome to crypto, right? Everyone's like, oh my God, Bitcoin's at 65K. I missed it. No, you didn't. Now it's at 35K, no one, 40K, and no one wants it, right? You're right here. Okay. Okay. Watch out for a weekend rug pull. All right. Megan says the Super Bowl is an American holiday, even if it's for the commercials and the halftime show. That is true, right? The commercials are a reason why many American citizens tune into the Super Bowl. So if that's filled with crypto commercials, that's something to consider. Okay. Somebody is asking, when does the bear market start? Okay, my answer to that is mid-March. So you got to make money now, not investment advice. In other words, long-only players, okay, if you're going to take a shot, not investment advice, use a stop. But I'm of the mind that if you're going to be long and you want to be bullish, the sooner you do it, the better. Again, it's not investment advice. You have to manage risk and your mind accordingly. Now, somebody's asking about Aave. Okay, so I'm pulling that up on the screen. I have such a hard time believing that no one gives a shit about these big DeFi coins. I mean, seriously. I mean, how is this not an accumulation cone? How is that not that? Well, I mean, it could be a bear flag. I understand the opposing argument. I understand the opposite argument, but you know what? Let me do something that I normally don't do. I'm actually going to go back to the PowerPoint, and I'm going to show you something old school. And I'm going to show it to you without a crypto chart. All right. So when you do your work, because that's why you listen to this YouTube channel, right? I help you do your work. TokenMetrics.com helps you do your work, right? You have confidence in yourself. I have confidence in you. I have confidence in the people who read this stream that regardless of whether my call is right for, the next day, hour, or next week, right? I got to play the crystal ball game. Even if I'm wrong, you can still make money, right? Unfortunately, and throughout my history, whether I'm right, okay, if I'm right, I'm right. But a lot of times if I'm wrong, I'm so wrong. If you turn yourself around, you stop, reverse is what they call it, you can make money, right? So I'm being real with you, right? When I'm right, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, I can be so wrong that you can still make money. Bigger picture, I can also give you the tools so that you can make sense of the price action yourself. So take a look at this. In the bottom left-hand corner, you can see the market doing this upward sloping, wavy consolidation. This comes from reminiscence of a stock operator. And you're like, what's that? Well, that's the original market book. So if you're like, hey, I just got the crypto and I know that I need to make a 10x, but I don't know shit about trading in markets. I'm like, well, that's okay. Everybody in market has one thing in common. They have several things in common. They both have, everyone had to start somewhere, right? And everyone has bought the high and sold the low. Okay. So this book, Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, if I had to teach a course in crypto, this is the first book I'd have you read. This comes from the work of Jesse Livermore, okay, a trader featured in this fictional novel. And this comes from his diary. So back in the early 20th century, in like the 1900s, okay, obviously they didn't have TradingView. They had pencils. And you actually kept chart formations and charts by hand. I actually used to keep a form of a chart on the back of a trading card when I worked on the floor of the futures exchange. So Mr. Livermore figured out that one of the ways that stocks would go parabolic is they would consolidate in this upward sloping range, right? So you're like, yeah, is it weak? Is it a bear flag? I'm like, what the hell's going on here? It's kind of going up, but it's not going up fast. Well, what Jesse Livermore was trying to tell you is sometimes when you see those upward sloping accumulation cones, it can be a prelude to something parabolic. Okay. So let me see if I can go back to whatever chart I was looking at, right? Let's go back to near. All right. Let me get there. Okay. Maybe near was not the best example. Maybe it was ETH. If I can get ETH up here. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at ETH. Okay. Here comes a chart. All right. Stay with me, folks. I'm going to make this worth your while. Okay. So let's go to an 89-minute chart of ETH. All right. So what are we looking for? We're looking for an accumulation cone. We're looking for something that lets us know that the bulls might take charge. And I'm like, so let's take a look, right? Okay, so that's a little outside the box. But does that look like an accumulation cone to you? Right? Does that look like a market that's coiling itself up? Right? Coiling up, coiling up. See it. Right? Let's label this ETH 89-minute. So it's one of the things I like to tell people is a good technical analyst won't just tell you whether it's going up or down. A good technical analyst will tell you what is the nature of the price action, right? Is this the bulls in control or the bears in control? To me, this looks like the bulls are in trouble, but they're doing it quietly. That is right up until today, okay? What is the nature of price action? When you look at your chart and your coin, you'll hear my Jersey accent in your head. What is the nature of the price action? Okay. The nature of the price action is Ethereum could be joining a commodity rally. The commodity rally. Okay. Now, this might be a good time to remind you that if you like the content, hit the like button, right? It makes me feel good. It cheers me up. It helps other people like you who need help get the research. So if you like the content, hit the like button. Now, someone's asking for KDA. So let's bring up KDA. Okay. Now, all right. I have it up on the screen. Good. All right. Now let's see if we can figure out what's going on in KDA. Now, I know I wanted KDA to be above 6, right? Now, let me ask you this. So this is not perfect. This doesn't have the accumulation cone, but there's a point here at 588. If I'm looking at KDA, I'm like, all right, I want to see the bulls show up right there, right? I want to see somebody say, you know what? I don't just want KDA when it's down. I'm willing to buy the dip. So that's either at 588 or maybe at a prior high at 575. No, it's easy to FOMO in when it's up. The question is, can you buy the dip? So if 590 holds as support, forget about it. It's going up. Right? In other words, you can see it here on the 89-minute chart, right? Everybody goes, think about it. Okay, this is where it fell out of bed. So, of course, people who are holding bags are going to get out because they're afraid it's going to turn around and collapse again. That's not unwarranted. So if buyers show up at 590, that's very bullish. If buyers show up at 575, that's, reasonably bullish. But you want to see buyers show up. So this is an 89-minute chart, right? Not relevant if you're watching this 3 days from now. Okay, that said, it may be relevant because you'll get an answer as to what the nature of the price action is, right? What is the nature of the price action? Okay, Mo Money wants to know, what do I think about Matic short term? Okay, so since we've got the 89-minute chart up, let's take a look at what we got for Matic short term. All right, so we discussed the fact that everybody was going to give up, or everybody gave up on Matic at $1.50, right? We talked about this, right? This is kind of seemingly like a bull flag. Everybody just kind of packed it in on Matic, right? It broke out of the bottom end, and then it was turned around and broke out at the top end. So I'm guessing with the way diagonal theory works, that in the short term, Matic could go back to $1.80 up here. So let's label this for anybody watching the video. It kind of stands to reason that if ETH is going to become a commodity of culture, if the ETH narrative is going to wake up again, right, that the Matic narrative can also wake up. Not to mention the fact that, again, everybody was talking about Matic as a top 5 coin, and then nobody was talking about it. Nobody. So that's all the more reason to talk about it. You want to talk about it when no one's talking about it. Okay, so let's read what Jordan has to say. Canadian ETF bought a ton of BTC this last crash. BTC is being adopted more and more all the time. Lengthen your timelines, look back at today in 4 years, and laugh at the stress we caused ourselves. Oh my God, well said. right? In other words, even if the market goes down for the rest of this year, that's worst case scenario. When the market is going up, did you capture the gains in crypto, right? In other words, if you're a long-term bull in crypto, then in your heart, you got to believe that when crypto rallies, it's going to rally hard, right? I mean, has anybody ever seen a wimpy uptrend in crypto? No. When crypto goes, it goes. And if you're a longer-term player, in other words, if you think you can hang on for the long term, where do you want to buy ETH? At 5,200 or at 2,750, right? So, I like the way, right? I like the way this guy's thinking, right? Some people giving us some love, all right? Shout outs to Mike and Mehdi. I agree, okay? Somebody wants a Token Metrics hockey jersey. Great idea. Matter of fact, our marketing guy that's sending me a hoodie is a former hockey player, and he's kick-ass, right? Shout out to him if he's listening. Okay, are we ever going to tour the UK? Been to London 3 times. I loved it. My grandmother was from Manchester. I would love to see it. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got. Routine Cheese says, Bill, when Lambo? Okay, folks, I don't think 2022 is a Lambo type of year. 2022 is make money in crypto, okay, so you can hedge against inflation. Okay, Lambo, I think personally, is 2023, definitely 2024. Now, nobody wants to hear that on a live stream, but that's what I'm thinking. Okay, does Token Metrics have charting tutorials? No, I am the charting tutorial. Okay, was I on the floor for 1987? No, I was in college, but I was in the thick of it at Goldman in 2008. So one of the reasons why you should subscribe to this channel is that in the event that you get ridiculous up moves, which is what I think we're in right now, or you get ridiculous down moves, which could happen later this year if the Fed goes on the warpath. All right, let's take a look and see what we got. We have somebody asking for QSP. Let's see if QSP is in my database. I don't think we've looked at that before. Wow. There's a Coinbase listing really helping this puppy out, huh? All right. So this is Quant Stamp 89-minute chart. Okay. What I can tell you about this is that, it looks like every time this thing gets near a support point, all right, people seem to want to come in and buy it. That's a pretty big uptrend from 2 cents to 11 cents, right? But when something is trending and you own it, the trend is your friend, right? So let's just draw a trend line. I don't know that you necessarily want to FOMO into it at 11 cents, but obviously people are buying dips. If you can buy a dip and make money, it's a bull market, right? Okay, somebody is asking if IMX is a good buy short term. That depends if it holds like the 62% retracement of the recent move up. So I think if IMX is a buy, you want to check in on it like Monday and see if it's actually held where it is right now. I know we looked at it earlier. Okay, so this is Gala. All right, and we're looking at an 8-hour chart, and we're going to see where Gala is going. Okay, so some of these metaverse coins have got valuation issues. I don't know if that's true with Gala or not. Okay. All right. So if you look at an 8-hour chart of this, it's not at support and it's not at resistance, but it is breaking a trend line. And there seems to be room to move to 26 cents. Now, again, maybe you can wait, or maybe this thing is lulling everybody to sleep. I don't see any reason to give up on this unless it takes out the bottom of the low. Okay. I'm sorry, the recent low. And I would be encouraged by this right here, because this is a decent looking bump and run off a trend line at 76 cents. So one of the things that the market may do is go back and forth between metaverse, layer one, and Bitcoin, right? So it could be metaverse, ETH, Bitcoin dip, metaverse, ETH, Bitcoin dip until the inflation number. And then I just think it's everything smokes after that. But that seems to be what the market is doing, because remember, folks, whether it's a bull market or a bear market, in order to get the gains, you have to be able to live with some pain and put up with stuff that's a pain in the ass. The Gala has been a pain in the ass, right? It's tough to trade, right? Somebody's asking for Sol. A lot of people looking at that. I think we looked at that yesterday. Okay. All right. So, with some of these things, they're down. Some of these things are like down so much, you have to like zoom in with the 89-minute chart. So when I look at this, it's such a sign of how emotional this market is, right? In other words, bears exhaust everybody, right? Like, this went on for, this is the second, okay? And then this is February 4th yesterday. So how was everybody feeling about Sol right there? Probably like, oh shit, it's going to go down again, right? That's what this market does. Like, this is the 45-minute chart. So Gann was really big into 45. So sometimes if I have to break it way down, I break it down to like 45 minutes. What was the market looking like right there? Get the right arrow here. Right here. What was everyone thinking? Probably the market's going to zero and I'm screwed. That's probably what everyone was thinking. Now, up here, people are probably thinking the opposite. They're like, okay, it's going up forever. All right. And the real question is, are buyers going to show up right at that prior point where that avalanche started? So realistically, Sol's got to hold support. In other words, you want to see the market tell you, right, that I am willing to buy Sol above $1.52. Now, if you get that, then the bulls have taken control, right? Because this right here is the bears running for cover. They tried to kill it and it didn't work. Or everybody gave up right down here before the employment number. I mean, that's how kind of twisted markets can be, even if they go up. Think about it, right? You're sitting there, you're losing money. You're like, oh my God, tomorrow's the payroll number. These numbers never mattered before the rate hike cycle. They used to matter a long time ago. But you're like, okay, I got to get out of this. I can't deal with it. I can't wake up tomorrow morning and have the market down 30% in my face. So what do? You get out of your position. And then what happens? It explodes, right? That's what the market does to you, wears you out. This is why I'm trying to tell you that in your portfolio, you got to have some kind of core holding, something that, you can hold on to, even if it's small, so that you don't get shaken out by this bullshit that the market puts you through with all this fear, right? All the fear. So, I don't want to just, give you charts. Okay. Someone's asking for TA on perp. I covered that earlier. I think it's possible that you have the bigger the base, the higher in the space in perp, right? Perp, when it goes down, it goes down. And when it goes up, it really goes up. Okay. So here we have RLC by request. Okay. Not as familiar with this. But let's just look at the chart. All right. Now, the question is, what's this? It's tough to tell. Is that an accumulation cone? Maybe. Maybe. I mean, it kind of requires some creative artwork. Maybe it's an accumulation cone. Okay. It could also be a bear flag. I'm not going to lie. All right. But if it's an accumulation cone, okay, notice how it's taken out this level right around $1.85. So if you look at $1.85, right? This goes back to my question, what is the nature of the price action? Right? Which is why I'd love to have everybody tune in right here. Tune in with us. So what happened when you broke this line? Well, it fell out of bed. And then you did another fake out over here. Okay, now at the same level, the bulls are taking control. All right. So this could be an accumulation cone in RLC. This could be an accumulation cone. License to speculate. I don't know what this is. I'm just reading the chart. Right? I think that if you're going to make money in crypto being long, okay, now is a good time to think about doing that. Okay? We have somebody saying in the chat that Moon River smoked higher. Wow, sure did, huh? All right. So again, you know, Moon River smokes higher and everyone sells. Right? So what's happening in Moon River? Let's take a look. So Moon River's obviously been in a downtrend. This is the 89-minute chart. Okay. Then Moon River goes up to resistance right here. And what does everybody do? Looks like they sell. But then who shows up at the top of the band at $84? It looks like the bulls are showing up. So this could be turning. This interoperability narrative, right? Everybody gave up on this. And of course they did. This stuff got hammered, right? But in research, you get paid for imagination. So if the bulls win the battle at 84, right, the trend could shift in Moon River. Okay? Yes, Routine Cheese is saying, I've put in a lot of altcoin overtime today. This is true. So on that note, I think it would be time to wrap up the stream. J Dog says Moonbeam is next. That is possible. Okay. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday. All right. Rain, shine, up or down. Please hit the like button if you're watching this later on. Give us some love. If you just Googled Ethereum or Ethereum price prediction, and this is your first time with us, come on and subscribe. If you've been on the fence about it, what's the matter with you? Come on over with us. Don't forget about tokenmetrics.com. Okay. Folks, that is it for today. All right. I will see you next week.